There's a new mayor in Toronto. We have the exclusive coverage of reactions from Humber's point of view.
More ducks have died in Alberta tar sands, and the World Series kicks off tonight. Humber News starts right now.
Hello, it's October 27th, 2010. Welcome to the special Toronto election edition of Humber News. As always, we're coming to you from the Broadcast Centre here at North Campus. I'm Jared Lalonde. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Rachel Yeager. Today we take a Humber's eye view of the week's city election. Field reporters Phil Heidrich and Pam Ball have exclusive reports highlighting reaction from the college and the surrounding community. And later, an interview with Humber President John Davis. But first, Jared with today's breaking news.
A new provincial report says universities are putting quantity before quality when it comes to program offerings. The Higher Education Quality Council says the recession means more people are going back to school. But the council also says schools are catering to the new influx by offering programs with little value. It recommends universities focus on fewer programs of higher quality. A spokesperson for the organization says the government should allocate funding based on the excellence of individual programs.
Mayor-elect Rob Ford may not rip up Toronto's streetcars after all. That's according to Doug Ford, Rob Ford's brother, who is now a new city councillor. He says they are preparing to address the efficiency of public transit, but there is no plan to completely do away with the streetcar. During the election campaign, Rob Ford said buses are better than streetcars on some roads, as streetcars create gridlock. Doug Ford said that the idea streetcars would be removed was a rumor started by the competition.
The 11-year-old boy who was killed at a birthday party in 2007 did not hear when he was told to flee the scene of a gunfight. This is according to the Crown's testimony in the trial of two men charged with the first-degree murder of Ephraim Brown. The court heard Tuesday that Ephraim was allegedly listening to his MP3 player when he was shot. A detective, who was at the scene of the crime, says music was still playing on the earpiece when he arrived. The trial continues today.
And in national news, Alberta's controversial oil sands development has another black eye. At least 200 ducks are dead after landing in a toxic tailing pond owned by Syncrude Canada. Officials say many of the birds had to be euthanized after being covered in highly toxic sludge from the pond. The timing couldn't be worse for Syncrude, who recently paid $3 million in fines for a similar incident.
The federal government says the Canadian passport is going electronic. New microchip-embedded passports unveiled today will expire after 10 years, and they can be tracked if they get lost. Passport Canada says around 80 countries already have e-passports, Canada being the last G8 country to adopt the technology. The passports may be available by 2012.
And now our special municipal election coverage. This morning, reporter Phil Heidrich went to speak to the Humber Student Federation to get its perspective on everything from student apathy and voting to what issues the HSF will work on behalf of students.
Humber's North Campus was a busy place during Monday's election, as the Athletic Centre also served as a polling station for the North Etobicoke ward. But we spoke with many students and very few of them ended up voting. HSF President Brian Tran says he's concerned about student apathy. He says he's hopeful Rob Ford will listen to student concern.
It's tricky because he did run a platform of, fiscal responsibility, which typically means spending cutbacks, but we really don't know what's in store until he, gets to work in office.
Tran says lobbying to keep the Finch West LRT will be discussed at an executive meeting later today.
There absolutely is a role that we do play in terms of lobbying, and it is something that we are looking into. I mean, having that Finch West LRT would be a great thing for the Humber campus and for all the students that go here, so we're definitely looking into it.
Tran says it's important for students to understand the power their vote can have.
If the students continue to remain silent, then the issues that students face will never be addressed, so it's really important for them to get involved.
Brian Tran may be pledging to do more to get students to vote, but in the end, it could be that students simply don't care. Phil Heidenreich, Humber News.
Thanks, Phil. And now to the community surrounding Humber College. Rob Ford's plans to cut city spending may have won over many voters, but people involved in programs for at-risk youth aren't celebrating the new mayor's win just yet. Pam Ball has the story.
It's not your average classroom here at Breaking the Cycle. This program encourages at-risk youth to stay away from gangs and move in a positive direction. Shaka Licorice, case manager at Breaking the Cycle, says he's concerned about the new mayor's focus on trimming the city's budget. Licorice says the city needs to take an interest in its youth.
There's things that receive more priority than others, but I don't think our future, the young people who potentially could themselves run for mayor one day, need to be neglected.
Toronto City Council has designated this Jamestown community in Rexdale a high-priority neighborhood. This means it needs greater investment in community services to reduce things like crime and joblessness, which are prevalent in the area. Just down the street at West Humber Collegiate, a group called Pathways to Education offers after-school tutoring to help students achieve success at school.
It's not uncommon here to see students working well into the evening hours completing homework assignments. Jerison Sunnigan volunteers his time with this organization. The Humber College student says having grown up in Rexdale himself, he knows the advantage of a program like this.
These kids, they live in Jamestown, but some of them are like those troublemaker ones, like the kids that just don't believe. And those are the type of kids that really need to be in here.
Pathways is able to run its programming mainly based on support from private businesses. Rob Ford mentioned in a mayoral debate last month that similar programs lacking funding should look to the private sector for money. But Licorice asked,
if his private ventures be willing to give our program or other arts ventures, some of that money.
Pam Ball, Humber News.
Thanks, Pam. And now turning from the election for a minute, let's find out what Mother Nature has planned for us. Here's Natasha Fearon.
With yesterday's weather bomb touching down in southern Ontario, destroying many trees, Environment Canada has issued a weather warning, saying damaging weather is moving east today, are expected to reach 90 kilometers per hour. Here's what we can expect for our 5-day forecast. Brace yourself as strong gusty winds pick up late this afternoon. Expect a high of 16 and a low of 8. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds with a 40% chance of rains. Partly cloudy on Friday, expect a high of 9 and a low of 3. Saturday's feeling the same, mostly cloudy with scattered showers. And on Sunday, expect cooler weather with a high of only 8 and a low of 1. According to Environment Canada, a weather bomb is a description of how a low pressure area strengthens quickly, which could cause irregular thunderstorms. That's it for weather. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Natasha. When we come back, Humber News reporter Crystal Burney will be in the studio. She has been covering the municipal election and Ford's campaign for mayor. She will speak with Humber College President John Davis about the school's hopes and concerns for new leadership at City Hall.